What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Roxora, and in this video we're going to be doing more of the analyzing of cards from Archazia's Island, set 7. At this point, the set is out, so I'm also going to kind of just be talking about the actual cards that are seeing play. So I'm not going to talk about every single card here. Like, obviously, like, some of these cards are, like, pretty whatever. But the real standout cards, and the cards that are of interest to talk about. So yeah, and again, we're not going to talk about the dual ink cards, just the mono ink cards, as we've already discussed a lot of the dual ink cards in the first video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. That's also where I talk about the grading scale. Again, just where we talk about or kind of how I like to discuss cards, right, ranking them from A to F with a special slot for tech cards. Yeah. Before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, definitely going to be showcasing some builds and some talks in the gameplay, hopefully at some point in the future, once we kind of know what the meta is going to be like. So yeah, in terms of cards that are mono ink cards in Amethyst here, which we're going to talk about in this video. We've got Honey Marin here. 2 cost 2/2/1 when it enters play. If an opponent has an exerted character, you gain 1 lore, so you get that what is the White Rose effect, right? Kind of a goat, right? But this one is cheaper, but has a condition to activate. The 2-drop slot in Amethyst decks has not really been super contested, depending on what you're playing. Right, Ruby Amethyst has Snake, but doesn't really have too much. Well, it has Raja, as we'll talk about. Steel, you have Smee and Calhoun. But the other colors, not so much. So maybe this is good in Blurple, or could see play in some other decks like that. Hyper Aggro, right, is just, again, extra points of burn. So it's a C. It's like not a terrible card, but it's not amazing. It'll definitely see a small. It could see some small amounts of play. I've already seen it played against me. So definitely is seeing some usage. This Elsa is also interesting. As it benefits you for having an Ana in play. There's plenty of Ana cards in the Blurple colors, and just in the Amethyst in general. But it's also just a cheap Elsa for the Floodborn Elsa from set 1. So it's really interesting that we kind of finally have an Elsa that we're kind of interested in shifting on top of. 2 cost 2/3/1 is not great, obviously, but that's still something relevant. And again, if you are playing enough Annas in your deck, maybe that's good enough. So again, C, probably C-. I don't think it's too good, but yep, that's my assessment. This Yzma is interesting if you have a bunch of cards in hand. So also Floodborn Yzma. So that's kind of interesting, but nothing too crazy, more like a D. Raja is interesting as an illusion. So 2 cost 3/3 with the new Vanish keyword. So again, we have the illusion cards that all have the Vanish keyword. 2 cost 3/3 is overstated, obviously, and no other restrictions is nice. Obviously, like, again, if you are playing against Steel and you just get targeted out, it's rough. But also, there's a lot of 2-cost characters in the game that just die to Steel removal anyways. So that's probably a lot of good points for this card. So again, could be good in Ruby Amethyst with, again, just accompanying Snake, having a 3/3 body early in the game to challenge the bells that exist in the format, which we'll talk about if we have to get to Sapphire. All these cards are pretty whatever. This Is My Family is an interesting song. Gaining 1 lore and drawing a card. The weird thing about this card, though, is, like, what character really wants to sing this? I don't know. Like, some evasive characters, maybe. But again, if you're evasive, you can just quest. Drawing a card is nice, but, like, it's uninkable. It looks like a C-. Again, it could see some usage, but not too hype about it. This Pascal. Oh, sorry. This is a dual ink. Never mind. Sorry. Iago is the other illusion in Mono Amethyst. 4/6 for 4 evasive and vanish and all that stuff. It looks a little slow, but 4/6 body is nice. Again, not even really sure what removal can target this, right? So like again, your opponent can't brawl this. They only pretty much, again, a lot of the main answers are things like steel removal, and then like there's some sapphire cards that target, or amber cards that target. But yeah, besides that, this could see some usage. The queen here is a nice one. Already seeing some play. 4 cost, 4/3/1. It can exert to choose 3 cards from an opponent's discard. It doesn't say up to. I will note it has to be 3. And you put them on the bottom, and you gain 3 lore. And then if a princess was moved this way, gain 4 lore instead. So basically, you know, again, you take 3 cards, you gain 3 lore. You remove them from the discard, right? So if there's things like Lilos or anything like that, it doesn't restrict you for certain types of cards. So item cards, if you're playing against the Sapphire deck, you can remove or kind of take out of the discard some items. And then the princess thing is more like flavor text. Again, there are some cases where that's pretty relevant, but most of the time really shouldn't. It shouldn't be what you're building towards. But again, it is kind of just a nice little thing. But yeah, this is essentially quest for 3, which is cool, as well as providing some disruption. There's some added synergy in Ruby with things like LeFou that ready characters make it so they can't quest, but this is an activated ability, not questing. So yeah, this looks like, I want to say a C+. It looks a little bit too linear in terms of its usage to really see a wide variety of play, but it definitely can. It definitely, depending on the meta and where we go. Again, if we really are going towards these discard pile shenanigans and synergies, Queen could be an interesting way to break those up while still being just a good card because it just gains lore. What else do we got here? A lot of these other cards are kind of whatever. Madam Mim, when it quests, exerts chosen opposing characters, so it can kind of be like a little bit of a finisher in some cases. Here's the shift target for the big Taka, but otherwise, yeah, that's about it for Amethyst. It's a little bit not getting too much. Oh, sorry. Here's this Tanai. This Tanai is kind of interesting. 3 cost, inkable, 1/1 with Challenger 2. During your turn, when this character is banished in a challenge, you bring it back to your hand and you gain 1 lore. So the interesting thing about this card is you want it to die. You want it to die on your turn. So you want to challenge with it, immediately kill it, and have it come back to your hand. Obviously, like, you can reserve it. And then just if there's ever a chance for you to challenge and kill it and kill something with it, you can do that. The big way that I see you could use this is self-damaging. So you use something like again, Teeth and Ambitions to damage it before a challenge to make sure that it dies. Because again, if you challenge with it and it survives, it doesn't go, and then you pass the turn and your opponent challenges into it, you don't get it back. So yeah, you kind of need to make sure that you can damage, you can secure that and control the cases in which it challenges and dies. Yeah, I see that with self-damaging, and then also could work well with any kind of moving of damage. So you have the new, again, Mother Gothel card, wherever that was, Mother Gothel. Right, so you can, if something else is damaged, you can move damage onto your Kenai, and then make sure that it dies. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not really too sure how useful the card is. A 1/4 like stat line that also just dies to Sisu is kind of rough. That's a brawl on a lot of removal. The 4 willpower is not great. The 4 willpower is not great, but that's kind of good because, again, you want it to die, so it seems fine. It seems like a C. It seems like it could see some usage, but not too hype. So, yeah, really not too much. Oh, sorry. And then Donald Duck here, I think is the last card we're going to talk about because, yeah, as you see here, Amethyst really did not get too many standout cards. A lot of these are just kind of okay and fine. Like these cards, not really too excited by. So yeah, but Donald Duck is interesting. It's kind of a unique effect that we haven't had before. So 7 cost, uninkable, 5/6/3. So really good questing stats there. And then it says opponents need 25 lore to win the game. So that's really interesting effect that we've just never had before, increasing the threshold that your opponents need to get to. Obviously, again, if this gets removed, that clause goes away. And if your opponent was at like 21 lore and they remove this, they win immediately. But again, on the turn that it comes down, it can definitely kind of stop your opponent from winning the game if they can't remove this. And with the stats, it's probably going to be pretty hard to do that. Yeah, it looks like a C though. Again, it's an expensive uninkable without an on-play effect. But very cool effect. Also very much reminds me of Donald Duck from Kingdom Hearts with like the staff and everything and the hat and, you know, all that stuff. So really like seeing that. Again, the enchanted here as well. Also reminding me of that. But yeah, the dueling cards are cool. We talked about those already. But in terms of mono colored cards, these are kind of rough. So I don't know. Let me guys know what you think. Is there any cards that I'm missing here? I mean, there's like a king here. This action is fine. Yeah, no, there's really no shit. Like there's a magical 1-drop. Like that's nice for if you're trying to play a magical deck and you want to fill out your curve. Yeah, these 2 cards are just like super medium. Yeah, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. Short one. Again, I'm trying to make these as concise as possible, get these out so you guys can get my thoughts on some of the cards here. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, remember, like, comment, subscribe. And again, I'm going to be doing the rest of the colors again in kind of quick succession. So make sure to check those out. All right, everyone. See you in the next video.